Hello, Earthlings. We've got an eclipse coming up on the 3rd of March. It's a lunar eclipse happening with the moon on the south node in Virgo and the sun on the north node with all them other planets in Pisces. So we might be feeling a little bit like that moon, like we're all alone with a lot of pressure on us as we're looking back at the world. We're not, though. We're not alone, loveronies. I'm still here. We're being supported at this moon. We've got the tide turning for us, and we've got the wind at our backs, in our sails. Try just believing that. Just believing it. Like you believe the sun is coming up in the morning. It's fun, and it's diabolical in its own way. We still have to do the work, but it's really detrimental to keep imagining the worst thing happening. That's how we get the worst thing. If we convince ourselves it's inevitable, we can't do anything about it, or nobody's gonna do anything about it, and we sit back and just wait for the disaster to happen, that's how the disaster happens. So let's keep acting like we know the outcome and moving towards that with a light and happy heart, because really that's only going to be beneficial, and it's not going to hurt anything if we end up being wrong, which we're not. I checked the astrology. Yeah, things are getting better. I don't know how long it's going to take, but they really are. So getting back to this eclipse, Virgo is about what's missing, and that's another reason we could feel like kind of hung out to dry at this time. It's about categorizing, organizing the information that we've got available to us. It's about keen observation. It's about really getting into the nuts and bolts of the issue. And in order to do that, to really do a good, thorough Virgo job, we've got to get it all out in the open. And maybe that's just for ourselves. Maybe it's something that you need to talk to somebody else about, like including people in your plans. But no matter what house this is in for you, don't try to evade. Don't try to get away without doing the work of self-examination, because we're really being called on to take an inventory of how we are framing what's going on in that Virgo house of ours. But first, eclipses, what are they? Eclipses happen when the sun and the moon's paths cross for a minute. That's it. But it's also why eclipses show us powerful moments in time. It's when our solar doing and being meets up with our emotional expectations and our feelings and our inner processing. That's why they seem so powerful and like they're touching fate. We've been, like, all of us collectively moving along towards this point, and now we're there. We're meeting what we set ourselves up for face to face. But even at a regular full moon, we can look at it as a spotlight being on whatever the moon represents, whatever house it's in. On a personal level, at this moon, it's the emotional lens that we do all of our categorizing and weighing and deciding through, especially on the topic of your Virgo house. And since it's on the south node, it has to do with what we are letting fall away, or what has to fall away for us to continue on in our path towards the inevitable north node. If your rising sign is Aquarius, for example, Virgo would be your 8th house that this is happening in. So you might be drawing up a will, looking at your own passing away, or making maybe your final payment on a loan so that that loan is what's passing away. If your rising sign is Sagittarius, this puts Virgo in your 10th house, where it describes career and public visibility. You could be finishing up a big project at work, or maybe there's a change in the kind of work that you're doing, so the old ways are falling behind, or falling by the wayside, or that project is over with now, so it's falling away, or deciding to leave your current job. Something's changing in your career house. And if you're a country with Sagittarius rising, like the US of A, this symbolizes the people, the moon, examining documents and records and discerning what happened in the past. Sound familiar? I hope to make a whole video about the political aspects of this eclipse, so stay tuned. I've got a lot to say. Meanwhile, Jupiter is retrograde in the moon's sign of Cancer. Jupiter loves to be in Cancer, and he's sextile to the moon as well. Jupiter expands, enlightens, and lifts up. And when he's retrograde, he wants that action to be an internal process more than anything. So figuring out how we feel about something inside instead of just taking action. So when we are doing this work internally, we are getting that support from Jupiter. And we might experience that with synchronicities that support that new revelation we just had, or it just might feel right when we get to that decision point. Like, yes, I feel solid about this. And you don't feel like a plastic bag floating around in the breeze anymore, wondering what you're going to do. It's solid, and we know there's no going back. And also remember that Jupiter is about justice. And even we deserve justice. Justice is not just for other people or for special people. And we're moving towards a world where that is able to really actually be true. So that's encouraging. But the problem with Jupiter is getting carried away, like getting